Hey y'all, it's your girl, Sarah from Sarah Styles here. I am doing a 3-part series on how to look at your data, how to analyze your data to increase your sales on PoshMark. So stay tuned. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for joining. Make sure to hit the notifications and subscribe if you haven't already. That'll let you know when new content comes out. This is going to be a 3-part series, so definitely make sure to hit that so you can see the other 2 parts. It's a lot of content, so I kind of broke it up so it could kind of sink in. And so we're going to look at your data to help you grow your sales. And you don't have to be a full-time reseller. You don't have to do this for a living. This strategy is going to work for everybody. And why is that? Because you're looking at your data. We live in this world which is amazing, you know, there's social media and everyone's talking and try this, and you watch this YouTube channel and someone's like, this sells well for me, or I did this and it worked well, which is awesome because you have all of this information and things that you can try. And I'm going to show you how to try them, but then look at your data to see if it's working for you. I can't tell you how many times that I hear this doesn't sell well for me. And then I run their report and it's like their number 2 selling item. Unless you look at the data, there's no way for you to know what is working. So I'm going to show you how to do it. If you're proficient in Google Sheets or Excel or some kind of data analytical tool, then you can do this yourself. If you're not, I will put the link below. I do have a dashboard where all you do is copy and paste your PoshMark Sales Report into the dashboard, and then all of these metrics that I'm going to show you will populate. So it's easy breezy. You don't have to worry about creating all of these different tables and charts. So that's going to be linked below. At the end of the video, I will create a coupon code for you to use too. So let's get started. We're talking about PoshMark, and unfortunately, there's not a lot of data. So you have to start with where you are. To figure out how to increase your sales, you need to know where you are. You can't increase if you don't know where you're increasing from. It's kind of like a roadmap, right? If you don't know where you're starting, you can't navigate how to get to where you're going. So you need to figure out where you're starting. And unfortunately, in PoshMark, the app is wonderful, the community is great, but they don't give you a lot of data. They tell you your total amount that you've sold ever, and then they tell you by count and then by sales. And then a couple other little metrics, but nothing that's really extremely useful to run a business, or even if you do it as a side hustle or selling things out of your closet, right? So we need to figure out where we are. And PoshMark doesn't give it to you. They do give you a sales report. Sorry, there's something itching on my back. I think there's something in my shirt. So they do give you a sales report, which, hooray, yay for a sales report. This is a fairly newish revelation for PoshMark sellers, which is great, but it comes out in a CSV file, which is like looking at a foreign language. You can't tell anything from that. So unless you know how to analyze and manipulate data, I mean, that's pretty pointless. So I'm going to show you how to use that CSV file to look at your data, what metrics you want to look at to increase your sales. So today we're looking at where you are. And a couple things, my analytical dashboard is in Google Sheets, which means that anywhere that you can get Google, you have access to it. So, sorry, my sister was texting me. So I'm on my phone looking at my analytical dashboard. The first thing that I have up is you want to figure out where you are. So you want to look at your sales on per month, and you want to take out some of the noise. So you're going to have some items that sell high, some items that sell low. You want to take an average. And let's take it back to, 7th grade math. How much you guys all love that, I bet. But take it back to 7th grade math. An average is going to level the playing field. It's going to take the highs and the lows and kind of make an average. And how do you make an average? How do you take an average to get your average price per item sold? You want to take your total sold and the total dollar that you sold and divide that by your total count. And so in this graph, and you can make it, this chart, you can make it look however you want. This is just how I did it. You have your total sold. You take out your fees because obviously you're not making that amount. Your average price per item sold, and then your average price per item less the fees. So this average price per item is going to be a big number in how we look at data, because that kind of takes out, like I said, takes out a lot of the noise and gives you kind of an average, how are you doing? And then we have your total sold. If you track your inventory costs, you can put that in as well, because that's obviously coming out of your profit. And then I have here the total average amount that I made per item less my inventory costs. I'm going to know in my dashboard, and everything that we're talking about is looking at data from a sales perspective. It's not a financial dashboard. This dashboard is not going to cut it for tax purposes, for a CFO, for any of that. This is solely looking at your sales data. So now you know where you're at. You make a chart, you look at where you're at. And then we want to figure out where you want to go. I have my notes because I want to make sure to cover everything. It's a very robust, a lot of content. Yes, perfect. So I want to note here, and this is how we're going to figure out where we want to go. There's essentially three things that that can move. Three variables that can move. Again, back to 7th grade math. You have three variables, and if you move one, that's going to change how much money you make. So you can move all three of them. You can choose to move one, and this is where your strategies are going to come in. So definitely make sure to subscribe, because I will go into, now you know where you want to go. How do you use strategies to move those variables so that you can increase your sales? So your three variables that you have is your average price per item, total amount that you sold, and then your inventory costs. I'm probably not going to speak a lot about inventory costs. That's highly dependent upon where you source and where you live. And you can change your inventory cost by like $5, and it'll make a little bit of movement in your sales, but not a ton. So that's always something to be mindful of, is keeping your inventory costs kind of low. But what you want to be more mindful of is how many total sold items for the month and your average price point. And so those are the two variables that we're going to focus mostly on. I'm going to move over to the simulator. And so the simulator, in the dashboard, you have the simulator. And what is a simulator? You can put in your total, like the number that you make. Say you want to go to Disney World, right? And you're like, I need $10,000 by the end of the year, which means I need this amount every month. That's how much I need to make every month. You put that number into the simulator, and then based off of your historical trends, it tells you how many items you need to sell if your average price stays the same, or it tells you how much you need to increase your average price if your total sold stays the same. And then you can kind of play with both of those. So like I said, you have two variables, your average price per item and your total sold. And the simulator is going to help you figure out where you need to go. So we figured out where you were, and now we're figuring out where you want to go. And this will help you break it down. Because if you're just like, I want to sell more, it gets overwhelming. You don't know how to do it. You don't know what more means. You don't know. This breaks it down. You have the two variables, your total sold and your average price per item. And this breaks it down, and it gives you a number to reach for. It tells me, and this is all just, data for the purpose of this video, but it tells me based off of these historical trends, if I want to make $3,000, I need to sell 185 items. If I keep my average price per item the same, I need to sell 185 items, and then I can look at the graph too, and it doesn't look as daunting, right? It's so hard to obtain. And then if I am like, I can't sell more, I just need to sell at higher price points, I need to increase to $42 an item if I'm going to sell the same amount. So now you have goals to reach for. And in the next video, the next two videos, we are going to walk through different strategies and how to look at that data to see if the strategies are working, how to try new strategies to see if those strategies are working for you. So drop a note below. Let me know if you have questions. Subscribe to my channel so that you can follow this. Like I said, it's a 3-part series. We now know where we are and where we want to go. And next we're going to figure out how to tell if strategies are working and what data to look at to help with those strategies. So stay tuned. Thanks for joining my channel. Make sure to give a big old thumbs up if you like videos like this. Have a good day.